Hello everyone, Articos is here. Today I want to showcase the deck I used to reach Plat 1, to which I arrived today, and yeah, it's built up. I've already brought some duels with it on the channel. I like to show you the cards I've been using. So the lineup for the birds is pretty standard. There is 3 turquoise, which is the best starter, alongside with Cobalt Sparrow. These two cards, if you start with these 2 cards and your opponent doesn't have any interruptions, he's basically dead. You can end up with the full board. Then there is Sapphire Swallow. This one is okay. Play 2 of them because alone cannot do much, as you have to control a winged beast monster to activate its effect. And then just one Lidicro for many matchups, in particular Eldritch, to ban itself, and many other decks that revolve around like the graveyard, Phantom Knights, Sky Striker. You could banish their Kagari and then they cannot loop the how's it called? The engage anymore. So yeah, it's pretty good. Meanwhile, for the Tri-brigades, there is 3 Nervals, the best, searches everything. Just forgot the Burly Canary. To 3, super important. When you go for your full combo, you may want to use one of these to end up with an Ensemble Blue Robin at the end of everything. But the utility can come with a Summon Nightingale, so that you can go into 4 Material Zeus. And then there is just 2 Celestine Wagtail because it adds the bird call, and it can also add it like for like future turns afterwards. And this is the bird lineup in the main deck. Coming up to the Tri-brigades, 3 Nerval, 1 Keras, 1 Kit, and 3 Fractal. The Kit is there just to put more stuff in the graveyard. I don't play Oath because the combo really with the Keras at the end and the Oath at the graveyard comes so little. Like during games, it's not reliable. It wasn't reliable in real life, and it cannot be even like on Master Duel. And that's it for the lineup. And then one tanky just for more consistency. Hand traps, 3 Maxi, 3 Ash Blossom, very standard. Maxi is broken. Ash Blossom hits everything. Going second cards, 2 Lightning Storm. I don't have the 3rd one. And 1 Twin Twister. If I had the 3rd one, probably I would play it instead of the Twin Twister, but it can replace it very well. You use it against, like, it's if you have just one, the game provided, you play 1 Lightning Storm, 1 Rejeki, and 1 Twin Twister. The fact is that Lightning Storm is good because it's versatile. Against combo, you can go with Forbidden Droplet and then Lightning Storm and you destroy the whole board. Or against like trap based deck, just destroy all the spells and traps take control. Then 2 Called by the Grave, important as you play combo, and your opponent will most likely to maxi you to Ash Blossom something, Veiler, so you just call it. And then the Forbidden Droplet, because this deck loses if you're going firstly loses if you're going second and your board, like, and you cannot develop a stronger board than your opponent, or your opponent has already established a board with many negates, because this deck can play through at least 2 or 3 negates. It can even play past Nibiru, although I haven't seen it being played much. But it really struggles against Dryton, for example, when they play like the Herald and they can just have like 4 negates on their side with Eva and stuff. So yeah, you absolutely need droplets. You may forbidden. You may want to play, if you don't have droplets, you could play the chalice, because it's a 1-for-1 at the end of the day. The fact is that if you discard a monster, they cannot respond with a monster, essentially. So they cannot chain the herald to negate its effect, which makes this card so important, like for this strategy. For the extra deck, it's like so standard. There isn't much of like a choice when you play Bird Up. You have the Draco Future package, to recital to go into it. First thing you do, you just go for the Draco Future, because then you can negate Nibiru if you get Nibiru'd. Ensemble Nightingale, we've already talked about it. Ensemble Robin also is really good. This one to put more material for Zeus. Almirage is really good, because you cannot only activate the Nerval in desperate situations, but essentially you could also use it during the opponent's turn to protect cards as such as Simorgh if they activate Lightning Storm. You don't care about like protecting Draco Future, because he's already not immune, but it cannot be destroyed by card effects. But you might want to protect the Simorgh, as you're most likely to put the Avian in defense position anyway. So yeah, you can protect it. Then the Ancient Warrior Oath, the Double Dragon Lord, to protect the Ensemble Robin. So basically, if they go on battle phase and you have Ensemble Robin in defense, you just bounce back the attacking monster with this card. This is very usual. This one is really good, so good. This card, the Doom Eagle, you put back their Eldritch in the deck, and they just don't do the they cannot resolve the effect. Then there is the access code, the only one omen. It really would come off too much to play like to summon the two omens, but the fact is that the extra deck is so strict, you just cannot play two of them. Yeah, and that's it. The Simorgh, just to bring up the big bird. Now let's watch some replays. I know some people have asked me to showcase the Sky Striker, in particular with the True Draco variant, because I've also been playing this. Basically, I've been playing Sky Striker and a Bird Up to reach from plat 5 to plat 1. I could say from plat 5 until plat 3 and 2 I played Sky Striker, and then from plat 2 to 1, not from plat 3 to 1, I would say, I reached it with Bird Up, because at the end Bird Up is a bit more consistent. If you develop the board, you're guaranteed to win. Sky Striker, instead, you gotta fight for the victory, because it cannot OTK. It has lots of difficulties to OTK, and you play the grind game. And sometimes you just don't have time to just stay on the laptop, on wherever you play, and like go for like more than 10 minutes games, just because your deck doesn't establish a board like in the first few turns. So yeah, I just gave it up, but it's a very consistent and valid deck to rank up anyway. I will definitely bring its profile in the channel sometime in the future. Now the match history. Let's see. Well, those are the games I've played today, just 4 games. But yes, you can see a pretty high win ratio. I'll go with this one. Let's see. I'll go with the ones I played today because I remember some of the choices I made. So yeah, let's see. Can't even remember who's this guy, like the opponent. So with a hand like this, I just wanted to bait out a negate. So I started with the tanky, and then bird call to bait out the ash. Why? Because if I started with fractal and got its effect negated, then my turn would have ended. Bird call would have just added me like a tiny bird, and from there nowhere. Because, well, what do you do? Do you send the tiny bird to the graveyard so you have 2 materials? And what do you do? Do you just go for a Fergit or a Oath? That doesn't sound worth it. Instead, like the end board, I reached by baiting out the Ash with Bird Call. I will say it's much stronger than that. Let's see. So yeah, standard stuff. Here I took a risk by banishing 4, but it had to be done. Now I can add 2 cards, or just 1. Yeah, just 1. And summon, add Burley, go for Simorg, then put back the big bird because it will come out at the end. Bring the dude, and then go for a 2 material, just 2 material, ensemble Robin. It's good enough. And that's it. That's a much better board, well, except for the cashew, but that was much better board than not having baited out the Ash with Bear Call, essentially. Now he's proceeding to demolish my board, but let's see what happens. Okay, so this is interesting. He played this card, Axe of Fools, which says that the effects of the monster are negated. But what happens with the double Dragon Lords is that by its cost, you need to send a card from your field first and then target. So by the time this card resolves, it's no longer on the field, meaning that its effects will be able to be activated, because then the axe will just go to the graveyard, as this card will go to the graveyard. And in fact, let's see what happens. Yeah, exactly. It resolves by bouncing back the dude that brings out. Guess what? He had it in its hand, and he proceeds to summon the 4 guys and bounce 1 back because I don't want it to be OTK'd. And he summons this now, which I also bounce back because I don't want it to come later. But he banishes everything basically. Just a stupidly strong card. Cannot negate it. But I'm so skilled. I top deck the Burly Canary and proceed for a Zeus play. Wow, so good at this game. To be fair, that card or a Turquoise would have been that card, Turquoise or any Tri-brigade, would have been the only cards that saved me. Because I mean, I know he has the pathfinder in his hand, so this card would have just come to the next turn. So I needed a way to stop whatever he would have been doing the next turns. So direct attack. I don't know. Maybe I should have gone I could have gone for the Recital Starling to add something, but whatever. I think the 12,000, not 12,000, 1,200 damage mattered at the end for the OTK later. So I go for a Zeus, pretty standard. Don't use the effect now because I want to bait out the effect next turn. He uses it, I wipe out. pathfinder again, as the card, but I cannot do much, so essentially now I go for a topic Draco Future, I believe. I don't think he had any interruptions at this point. Here I thought I could have added some sort of cards with Nervo, but that didn't happen. I literally forgot that I used all the Tri-brigades, and my idea was like, oh yeah, I can add Fractal and normal summon it, but I forgot I already had all the Fractals banished. Whatever. So I pass, he does the thing, and he realizes he would have lost because as soon as the monsters would have been summoned, I would have wiped out the board, and that's the main how's it called? The main win condition of the deck. Next game, let's see if I can showcase like another one, the last one, perhaps. Yeah, sure. Play replay, and then I think that will be enough for today's video, because it's already lasting for so long, and I think this is a very short replay anyway. Okay, let's see. So he plays Maxi, I'm of course Ash Blossom Mid. Pretty standard. Special summon turquoise. So the reason why I send it to the graveyard is that if he has Droll and Lockbird and I add the Cobalt Sparrow, he can play it instantly and negate me any more adds from the rest of the turn. The way I played it this way is that if I send it to the graveyard and then I turquoise it, I can still add another card from the deck to my hand, so I don't lose one card. And moreover, if I had the Burly Canary in my hand, having this to the graveyard is much more useful, because if you play turquoise and then take Veilorade or Impermit, and you're basically like out unless you have the Cobalt Sparrow in the graveyard, because then you can special summon it and still continue with the Utopic Draco Future play at the least, like you can end on something. So yeah, usual combo. I think I made a mistake during this game, but not a crucial one, I would say. So yeah, I go for the double Starling, and here I should have added the Burly Canary perhaps instead of the Wagtail, and now I'll tell you why. And instead of the kid, just a Nerval. So yeah, because from this point onwards I won't be adding any more little birds from the deck to my hand, so I won't be able to access Burly Canary and at the end the Ensemble Robin. So yeah, just a little mistake by my side, but at the end I have 3 interruptions and I have no idea what he was playing. Just, I don't know. So I bounced it back for some reason. Not for some reason. I mean, at the end of the phase I wanted this to resolve, so I needed more space, so logically I used it to bounce it back. Here Max Cheat and Utopic Draco Future negates. Standard. I think the replay really ends off here. There he flips Skill Drain for some reason. Well, I bounce it back, Then he plays this, and he would have summoned the Dark Magician, so I stopped it. I already have enough damage on the board to finish off. Plus, if he has anything in his hand like monster effects, I can just negate it with Draco Future. So yeah, attack, and that's game. That was the last game before reaching Platinum. I hope you liked the video. I hope you learned something more about how the deck works, like an optimal build, some of the standard combos. I'll see you next time then.